For 12 years. I thought I was married to a good man. Not perfect. Not flawless. But safe. Stable. Predictable. I'm 34. He's 40. We built a life together, 2 beautiful kids, 10 and 8. A house filled with birthday parties, school projects on the fridge, Sunday brunch where he'd stand behind me, arm around my waist, like we were unshakable, and family vacations where we smiled in every picture. From the outside, we were solid. Inside, I was the only one loyal. I didn't know the cracks had already started forming years ago. Then, Emily. She's 22 now. But I've known her since she was a child. Our families have been intertwined for decades. Holidays together. Church together. Barbecues. She practically grew up in our living room. I remember her running around in pigtails, asking my husband to push her on the swing. He used to babysit her. He used to call her kiddo and calls her his little sister. I defended that bond. Fiercely. When friends made side comments, "Don't you think they're a little too close? Why is he always the one picking her up?" I shut them down. "That's disgusting. You're projecting. He's known her since she was a child." I wasn't naive. I was loyal. And loyalty made me blind. The first cracks, the first red flag wasn't dramatic. It was small. Quiet. He started locking his phone. He'd angle the screen away when she texted. He'd leave the room to take a call. When I'd ask why Emily was messaging so late, he'd laugh and say, "Relax. She's just going through stuff. You know how she is." I didn't want to be the jealous wife. So I swallowed it. The night I looked, he fell asleep on the couch with his phone in his hand. I wasn't looking for dirt. I was looking for reassurance. Instead, I found a hidden folder under a fake name. And years of messages. This wasn't sudden. It wasn't a drunken mistake. It was gradual. Intentional. When she was 16 and 17, he sent messages like, "You're not a little girl anymore. You're maturing beautifully. Don't tell anyone I said this. They wouldn't understand our connection." He bought her jewelry just because. Took her for one-on-one mentorship outings. Complimented her body in ways that made my stomach twist. He'd tell her, "You've always been my favorite. You're different from other girls your age. You're wiser than most women." He sent selfies from our bedroom. From our bed. From the car after dropping our kids at school. He was building something long before it became physical. And when she turned 18, the tone shifted. No more subtlety. "I've waited long enough. Last night was worth it. I've wanted you for years." Years. He referenced a special outing the week she turned 18. He told me he was stuck in traffic after work. Instead, he picked her up and drove to a neighboring town so they wouldn't be recognized. They went to a restaurant. The same restaurant where we celebrated our anniversary 2 years ago. He wrote, "Seeing you across that table tonight, knowing I can finally touch you." She replied, "I always knew it would be you." They described sitting in his car afterward, windows fogged from being parked too long, whispering about how romantic it felt that no one knew. He told her secrecy made it more ours. Ours. Like betrayal was intimacy. And the pictures he sent on our 10th anniversary, telling her how bored he is and cannot wait to be with her, remembering how he left our anniversary in the middle of our dinner, saying, "There's an emergency at work," just to be with her. Still has me shuddered and disgusted by the man who had thought to be my perfect husband. There was one moment I replay over and over. I ran into them at the mall. He had told me he was at a client meeting. I was there buying school shoes for our son. I saw them from across the floor. She was standing too close. His hand was low on her back. Not protective. Possessive. Intimate. He leaned down and whispered something in her ear. She laughed. That laugh. It wasn't innocent. Not nervously. Confidently. When they saw me, they jumped apart. Too late. The look on her face, I will never forget it. It wasn't shame. It was calculation. He walked over fast. Talking too fast. Coincidence. She needed advice. "You're being paranoid." And I believed him. Because I didn't want to look stupid. That night, I found the message she sent him. She almost caught us with a laughing emoji. He replied, "Relax. She trusts me." You handled that well. That was the moment something inside me cracked. Not just betrayal. Humiliation. They were laughing at me. That was the moment I realized I wasn't just betrayed. I was played. When I confronted him with everything, he didn't break. He sighed. Like I was exhausting. "She's an adult. She came onto me. You're insecure. It's just a midlife crisis." Midlife crisis. As if grooming someone emotionally for years was a phase. He even had the audacity to say, "You ignored the signs." Like it was my fault for trusting my husband. Emily posted vague quotes online. "Some connections are meant to be." He was mine long before anyone knew. I replied with, intimate picture of my husband and her, and another with my on her 16th birthday blowing candles, with caption, "Connection like these." Friends started messaging me quietly, saying they always felt something was off, that they tried to warn me. And suddenly I remembered every time I dismissed them. Every time I said, "You're reading into it." I wasn't naive. I was loyal. There's a difference. Now here's where it exploded. His mother has always treated him like he walks on water. Her perfect son. The provider. The faithful husband. She organized a big family dinner to fix this mess. Everyone was there. His siblings. Cousins. Close friends. And Emily. Sitting at the table. Like she belonged. His mother started in on me before dessert. "How could you humiliate him like this? You're destroying your children's future. You should handle marital issues privately." The entire table watched, waiting for me to shrink, waiting for me to apologize. Instead, I stood up because I had meticulously prepared for this day, with copies of all their long years' text and pictures, which Elle passed around. Silently, one by one, the messages. The timestamps when Emily was barely legal. The "I've waited long enough." The mall text, "She trusts me." The laughter emoji about almost getting caught. The restaurant reservation confirmation. The "You've always been mine." The room went silent. His mother's face drained of color. Emily stopped smiling. My husband stared at the table. Because saints don't write messages like that. Saints don't blur the line between little sister and lover. Saints don't groom girls they use to babysit. Saints don't laugh at their wife for trusting them. I looked at his mother and said, "I didn't ruin this family." He did. Years ago. And I walked out. Now I'm the dramatic one. The woman who caused a scene. The one accused of breaking up a family over something that isn't that serious. Some friends say forgive him for the kids. But I keep thinking, if I stay, what does my daughter learn? If I stay, what does my son learn? That betrayal is manageable? That secrecy equals love? That being mocked for trusting your husband is normal? I moved out with my children. He says I'm overreacting. That I humiliated him. But if I had stayed quiet, they would have rewritten the story. They would have called me jealous. They would have protected him. So tell me, am I the asshole? Or am I just the only one who finally refused to protect a man who spent years quietly betraying me and laughing about it while I defended him? Because this wasn't sudden. It wasn't accidental.